Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to North Country Off Grid. Today we're going to feed the pigs and show you guys where we're at after a week of having the piglets. We're also going to take a comparison look at the feed, show you guys what it's done over a week, all the fermenting that it's done. It's smelling pretty good. They've been eating it, they really like it. And I haven't gone through a lot of water. They barely drink water, so it's kind of serving its purpose out here. Give you guys a look at these little turds. Okay, so here's our feed. You can see how swollen it all is in this barrel. Now I've been feeding this for a week. When we got our feed, it was up to this line right here. And we added water, it came all the way up, and it has since down to about a half. So, show you guys, here's what the grain used to look like. And here's what it looks like fermenting. So this stuff is taking on an obvious smell. You can smell the fermenting process taking place, which is kind of cool. It's kind of sort of a sweet, kind of has that you know, fermenty smell to it, sort of alcoholish, I guess, on its way to rotten. You know the smell. All right, we're gonna get these guys fed. So what we've been doing is giving them a couple scoops about this big, and I weighed this thing yesterday. It's about 3.5 pounds of feed. That's wet feed, not dry feed. So 3.5 pounds of wet feed. We calculated that we're feeding them about 40 pounds of feed a day, which seems like a lot, but you got to remember that. Look at these guys. You got to hurry up and get them in the second bowl, otherwise they just pile up. So you got to remember that that's wet feed that they're getting. It seems like a lot, but they're actually not punching through this feed as fast as I thought they would. So that's good. But what we're doing, keep it down ladies, what we've always done is free fed our pigs. We've always free fed them. So they've always had an open feeder with constant food. It never goes out. That dry grain, the same non-GMO dried grain that we're using. But what we would do is just always keep it full, always keep it stocked for them, and so they would never run out. But we're gonna try and we're just changing everything up a little bit this year with the wet feed, the fermenting feed. What we're also going to do is we're going to feed them. What I've been doing is feeding them a couple times throughout the day. So I'm feeding them in the mornings and then checking on them around lunchtime-ish, seeing if they still have food in their bowl. If it's empty, I'm giving them more, and then they eat. And then again in the evening time, and it seems to be working pretty good. They kind of let me know. They'll either come up to me and sort of just mill around, or they'll come up to me screaming, and then I'll give them some more food. They quiet down pretty quick once you give them some grain. These guys are so funny. Piglets are hilarious to watch. They just have their own dynamic, and it's funny to watch them, especially with the runts. Runts aren't really great for your. Get out of there, goat! Hey, quit! These goats are smart. Runts aren't great for your bottom line on a farm. They don't produce well, they don't get that big, they take a lot longer to get up to butcher weight. But it's hard to just kill an animal just because it's little. I know a lot of people will just cull their runts, not give them a chance, and they just go ahead and kill them right away. We've got one really runty dude. Where's he at? There he is, right down there. That one. And he gets pushed around, he gets pushed off of stuff, but he might be the toughest one in here because he will fight any sized pig in here, and he doesn't back down. But he is little and size matters, and he gets flung across the little pen, and then he has to move on to a new bull. But he's tough, he's holding his own, and he's getting fed. But as I was saying, you know, people will cull their piglets, and so they just, you know, just because they're little, they get taken out. With McKinley, my youngest, she likes the piglets. Those are her favorite, or the runts, those are her favorites. So she asks to keep them. And so we keep them and we raise them up and try to give them a chance. I think what I'll wind up doing is, as they get bigger and we move them into the bigger pen, I'll pull them off feed. I'll pull him off as much feeding as he gets now. We'll put him in with the other pigs where they just get a certain amount a day. And just slow it down, because obviously they're not utilizing the feed that they're eating as well as everybody else. I'm also going to pull the boar off. You can look at the size of this guy. So that's him there, that's the boar. He's doing well. He is big, he's getting big. He has an extremely, look how good he goes. He has an extremely sweet disposition. He's actually, I was gonna say he's actually pretty gentle with all of them. But he's actually pretty gentle. He's nice to the rest of them. He'll kind of get pushed off food and he'll walk away gracefully. Right there you can see him just beating up the piglet or the runt. And what happens is that runt will just go to the next bull and kind of get beat up on. But he won't give up, or she won't give up. She pushes her way in there and makes sure that she gets a little bit of feed. These guys are funny. They know that the fight is coming. If you watch them, they'll sort of lean into, like this one's leaning pretty good. They'll lean into the other pig, and because they know that that pig eventually is going to lift its head and try to throw them. And so they lean into them. You can see the piglet's doing it too. She's leaning into their face right there because she knows they're going to launch them here in a second. But these guys are funny. So here's a bowl with one pig in it, plenty of room. But these 5 are going to try and stick their head in that one. And oh, that one wasn't good enough, so he went over to that one. They don't like to eat alone. So they'll leave a bowl and go fight for food. It's kind of funny. So I've gotten a couple good tips from a lot of you guys on fermenting this food. One of which, I'm not sure if I got the amount of water into the barrel that I thought I was supposed to, or that I am supposed to. What I wound up doing is dumping it in and just keeping an eye on it. And I'll just mix this stuff around every morning, and you can see the difference in the color. This kind of grayer grain on top. You dig down and you can see this fresher yellow stuff, and it's all good and moist. It's not super wet. Now some of you have said that I should put enough water in there to where it's actually the water level is above, so you always see water. And every day, except for today, I've come out and there's always been some water right in the middle, and then you kind of dig around, stir around, it sort of seeps back down. So it's had plenty of water in it. With these metal barrels, they sweat a little bit, so I'm actually losing moisture out of the barrel. I was told that the bigger plastic barrels are the way to go. It holds or locks the moisture in a lot better. So I might need to add some more water to this. I think in total I've added probably 30 gallons of water to 3/4 of a 55-gallon drum of dry grain. And I'll probably add a little bit more water. It looks like it can use it. I did drill a hole. I drilled a hole in the top of the lid. Right there. I drilled a hole in the top of the lid, and it was just to allow gas pressure out. I didn't know how much it would build. I didn't know if it would be an issue. Probably would have been fine. I probably didn't need to do it. But I put it in there just so it could breathe, and I think what I'm doing is losing some water to evaporation as well. So we'll keep adding it. Another good tip that I got was, as I get low on my grain, I think about a day's worth of grain left in this barrel, to then add all my grain again, add a bunch more grain to it, and then more water, and having that fermented grain in the bottom, and then mixing it up into the rest of the dry grain will help to ferment the rest of that dry grain faster, so it gets the cycle going a little bit quicker. Hush up, rooster. It gets that fermentation cycle going a little bit quicker. Something like you know, like yeast in bread, something like that. You know, where you just add more. I don't know. I don't bake. I don't know anything about it. Something called like friendship bread. Shelby's telling me about it. I don't know. But you use a little bit of it, make something, add a little something to it. I don't know. Ask Shelby. Chickens are crazy. So on top of all this feed, what we feed the pigs, I don't have any to show you. So here's the inside of the pig hut, guys. There's Merlot. Merlot's getting fat. You're gonna actually have babies, aren't you? But inside here, where the little piglets are gonna go, this is actually where my chickens lay all their eggs. They do not lay in the chicken coop, which is fine. They're laying in here, so at least I know where to get eggs. But they don't lay in the chicken coop that I built them. What do you do? I think towards the end of the summer, what I'll wind up doing is locking them in there for a few days and force them to start laying in there, and then I think they'll start laying in there more. But as of right now, we're cool with it. Wherever they lay is where they lay. They've been laying inside there, which is fine because I know where it's at. And then what I've been doing is taking those eggs and I'll stick it. Get out of there. Hey. What I'll do is stick it in the pig feed. So the pigs will get down to the last little bit of the bowl, and there'll be some grain down in there that's kind of dirty. And they don't seem to want to eat it, but I don't want to waste it. So what I'll do is I'll take an egg and I'll just crack it and throw it down in there, and they will clean up absolutely every bit of that last bit of grain. I give them the shell, all of it. So they get calcium from the shell, they get protein from the egg. So eggs are something that we feed our pigs quite a bit. Hey, get off of there. Hey. All right, guys. So far I'm happy with the grain fermenting, the feeding, the water content. These roosters are ridiculous. I need to get rid of some of them. I think we've got 3, and they just don't shut up. The grain, yeah. So I'm getting a lot of water in that grain, and they're getting a lot of water from that grain. And I've basically been giving them every morning about 2.5 gallons of water every morning, and you can see in their water bowl they barely touch it. So they're getting plenty of water from all this grain, which is great. So I'm not having to, even though I am watering them, I'm not having to go through a bunch of water every single day. Normally pigs will get in there, mess up their water, drink their water, pee in their water, poop in their water. So you got to change it out every day. But it seems like they're pretty much leaving it alone, maybe getting a drink and then staying out of it, which is good. That's what we want. That means they're getting plenty of water in their feed. Are you cleaning it off? Gross. None of this grain's going to waste here. The chickens pick up whatever I drop. The goats lick up all the extra, so everyone's getting a little bit, which is nice. No wasted grain. We like that. All right, guys, so that's an update on the feed and the fermenting process. So far, I'm real happy with it. I'm not going through it as fast as I thought I would have, which makes me happy. It means it's going to cost me less. They're drinking less water, which means it's going to cost me less time. So all in all, it's been a positive addition to the farm. These pigs are loving it. They'll sit here and eat it down. Pigs eat almost everything though, so what do you do? But no complaints from them. Chickens like it, goats like it, everyone's happy. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna close out this video and let you watch these pigs finish up their breakfast. Let me know what you think about this fermenting process. And if you guys decide to try it too, let me know that you added it to your farm. All right, guys, thanks for watching. All right, guys, so here's our boar. We're gonna be pulling this guy off of free feed grain here in a little bit. Once we get all these guys moved into the pens, we're gonna pull him off and he'll just get fed like the other animals twice a day. Because he doesn't need to be in here eating up all this grain because he's not going to butcher. But he doesn't have a name. We haven't named him yet. And I think we're gonna let you guys name him. So we're gonna need your help. We're gonna need your help with that. So you guys be thinking of a name. I think in a couple videos from now when we move them out, we'll probably do a little contest and we'll let you guys pick a name. And then I think whoever the winner is will get a little something. We'll send you a cool little prize for picking out our boar's name. So be thinking of that for future videos. Hey guys, also today is Deegan's birthday. Deegan, my son. Deegan's turning 10 today. So if you guys would, wish him happy birthday in the comments. So for Deegan's birthday today, he asked if we could go shooting. He wants to go shoot some guns. I said, you bet. So we're going to go and do some shooting later today. So I'll take a little bit of video of that, show you guys what Deegan decided to do with his birthday. Can't complain about that. Day at the gun range, always fun.